what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, and I'm so happy to be here with my own project here, teaching you guys Jimi Hendrix. Feels good, so thank you for supporting Marty Music. Anyway, gonna break this one down. One of the most iconic guitar songs of all time, so let's get to it. All right, I think of this as basically F, the key of F. F feels like home most of the time in this song. There's some exceptions. But let's look at this A shape, E flat major chord. And move it up a half step, and then another half step. But we want what's called the fifth in the bass. So we want to cover that. It adds that dark feeling to it. Now I just go like this. I'm not playing the B string or strumming the B string, so I'm barring that 6th fret, and then on the 8th fret of the D and 8th fret of the G, I play that. And so I go 6, 7, 8, right? Now we're doing the next thing. I call it the Hendrix major chord embellishment. It's the same chords, but we're playing what's called the major third in the bass. And what that entails is barring now the 8th fret and hammering on with our ring finger the 10th fret. Like that. I'm getting that, basically the D and G in there. So I hammer that, then I move it up a half step, and I do that same move. So now it's hammering to the 11, half step again, hammering to the 12. And so that's an inversion of the first one. But the way to remember it is the first one ends on the same bar that we're going to do for the inversion. Now, this inversion right here, which is an F major chord, underneath that is the F major pentatonic scale, also known as the D minor pentatonic scale, but with F as our root. Looks like this. And so that's where those embellishments come from. And so we're hammering the 12 on the A string, then emphasizing that bar on the D, hammering to 12 on that D, back off, and then back to the A. Kind of starts with a little, like you're hearing that 10th on the A string. And so that's just that Hendrix major chord embellishment. We're going to see it again. So next we have the verse, and I'm going to start with the basic chord structure, and then we'll look at some of those Hendrix-isms. So it's C major to B flat major. Now Hendrix is going to do this like F shape with the thumb over the bass, right? So I'm going to use that a little bit, but when I'm just more comfortable with the bar chords like this and the bar chord like this. And that's how I would normally play it, because my hands just aren't as comfortable with the thumb, but it's there. So for instance, this bar chord can be this anytime, and you do get the benefit of some embellishments that Hendrix did this way. So, but chord structure-wise, we have C to B flat to F. And I'm just playing that E-shaped bar chord. Does it again. Does it a third time. Then moves up to G. Then moves up to the 6th fret, which would be B flat. And we're on the 6th fret bar, which is where we want to be for that very first thing I taught you. We scoot this over and we have... And then it goes back to the G bar chord. And this is where I'm going to use this because the embellishment's on the B string with your pinky up a whole step. I'm going to show you that in a second. But G, B flat, and then that intro move. So let's take it from the top of the song. Here we go. Inversion. Same thing again. Inverted. Now I go up to a whole step up to G, B flat, G to B flat again. Intro. Okay, now let's talk about the few different ways that the embellishments are going on in that verse. So first we have, C, a little walk down note, half step down. So that'd be the 7th fret, like this kind of thing. You're just hearing that as a little passing tone. And then F. And so if you bar that 1st fret and hammer on that 2nd fret G, you get that. So from that first one, okay, now that same C can be played right here. So I have a C major barred on the 3rd fret A shape, and then the B flats right here. Same chords. But when you do right here, then for this one you do this inversion like we did up here. But for B flat, it'd be right there. So it looks like this. We play this bar chord right here. And then what we do is we take our ring finger and slide it from the 3rd to the 5th on that A string into that in Hendrix major chord inversion idea. Same thing we did in the intro. He does it a lot. So if it's C major, you can go into that B flat. Instead of this one, we're playing it with its major 3rd, which is a D note. We're playing that D in the bass. And then we're hammering onto that D string too. So and so he tends to do that next one up here, but I like it here. It's the same thing. So that next F, I'm doing it up here like in the intro. So we have I'm still strumming that, but then the bum bum, I'm going up into this where it's barred across the 10. And that's also because the next C chord, instead of that, he adds his little Hendrix-ism to the 10th fret of the high E with the pinky on this one. So for this chord, the C, you have the pinky on the 10, and then just same thing down a whole step, and then a regular old F. And then when we go up to that G, I'm going to use the thumb version, and I'm going to go da-da-da. You know, on the G, B flat, it's more jangly. 1E and a 2E and a 1E and a 2E and a... And I'm going to add my pinky to the 5th fret of the B string, like that. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Then scoot it up to the 6th fret, like that. So... Same thing again. Good stuff, yeah? So now let's talk about the rhythm part of the guitar solo. The guitar solo is going to be a separate video. Solo is really cool. Really, really cool. It's an F major, and there's a cool little pickup, I guess is what you would call it. But let's talk about the chords. It's F major. It's the 8th fret bar, A major shape. Down to E flat, so whole step down. Then we just change shapes to a B flat, you know, same thing. Then down a whole step, we'll call it G flat. So F, E flat, B flat, A flat, F, E flat, B flat, A flat, F, E flat, B flat, A flat, half step down to G, back up to that, B flat. Now we just go up another minor third, which means 1, 2, 3 steps. And then we go into an F major chord, which is right here. Into the verse again. Right? So let's go over the chords again of that solo. And obviously I feel like if you're watching this, you're already very familiar with the song in your head. Maybe you already have played it a bit. So once again, that Hendrix inversion for the solo, first we have this. So I'm sliding into that 10 of the low E, and then grabbing that root F note right there, which is the 8th fret of the A string. And then for that E flat, I'm doing that inversion. So B flat, One last embellishment, which can be used in a lot of cool ways. Thinking of it as F. That little move right there. First, we have this kind of A major zone, which that's kind of like a little F7 lick there. So if I'm just barring that 8th fret, I hammer the B string up a whole step, and I'm grabbing that high E with it. Then ring finger off, then I'm grabbing the 10 of the G, and then real quick, I think I'm hearing the 8 of the G, so it's like... You know, it's over the... So that other lick, I'm just grabbing, it's all on the high E and B, and so I'm sliding from 8 to 10 and back. Then a whole step down. And then I have to switch it up to this shape, which is 5 on the high E, 6 on the B, and I'm sliding into it. Ah! All right, there it was. Hope you enjoyed it. Also, there'll be a separate lesson on the solo, so look for that. Thank you again for supporting Marty Music. You can leave your requests in the comments below. Really appreciate you signing the newsletter at martymusic.com, and you get free courses that I think are really helpful and, help support what I'm doing here. So thank you for that, and can't wait to see you again. See you later.